We will now have the multilingual poetry reading. It's being hosted by Alliance Francaise and CLP Instituto Camoes. May I invite Mrs. Lilima, Claire, and the other members of the group.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Instituto Camoes, Alliance Francaise, and the International Center, I welcome you for this literature reading session. Last year we had a session like this at the university, and this year Dr. Delphine Silva and Claire Shares very happily organized this, and we thank all the participants who have offered to read and translate. I'm sure you will enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisa Lima. I'd like first of all to thank Ms. Nandini Sahai, Director of ICG, National Center of Goa, and of course Arjun, with whom I have been in touch this space to finalize the program. It was not easy to organize this program, at least for us, but I'm very glad that Instituto Camoes was invited for the first Goa Arts and Festival. Well, I'd like also to say I'm very grateful to our students of Portuguese. We are going to read the poems in Portuguese from Goan poets, and one which maybe is not considered a Goan poet, Orlando da Costa, since he was not born in Goa. After the reading session, we will have a documentary. It's The Lady of Shandor, with subtitles in English, and we will have also, according to the program, exhibition of Eduardo Soto, a certain book. Eduardo Soto, I'd like to share with you this. He was a guest of honor on 15 August in Lisbon during the Republic Day in the Embassy of India in Lisbon. And he has been taking photographs of India and Goa particularly. So I invite all of you to take a look to the exhibition. So again, thank you very much for coming. We will start the reading session with some poems in company, and we will have alternatively poems in French and in Portuguese language, and we will end by Marathi language. Thank you again. Deore Guru. We will start now. First,
We're going to start with Dr. Priya Tadkolkar, and she's going to read God's Tears by R.V. Pandit and Company, and also My Ungilded Bull by Pundarik Narayan Nayak. Yeah.
Mic is on.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and please excuse my throat. It's a little bit. So, the first poem by R.V. Pandit. Opening title असा देवाची दुका. एक फावट आपणेच निर्मिल्ले सृष्टीकडेन मोठ्या अजापान देव पळयत बसलो. एक फावट आपणेच निर्मिल्ले सृष्टीकडेन मोठ्या अजापान देव पळयत बसलो. ताच्या दोळ्यांक सृष्टीचेर चलिल्ल्यो सगळ्यो गजाली दिश्टी पडल्यो. थंय राज्य चलिल्ले मनशांचे. ताच्या दोळ्यांक सृष्टीचेर चलिल्ल्यो सगळ्यो गजाली दिश्टी पडल्यो. थंय राज्य चलिल्ले मनशांचे. देवाच्या दाव्या दोळ्याक दिसताले पृथ्वी वयले मनशाचे व्हड नश्टेपण. पृथ्वी वयल्या मनशांचे व्हड नश्टेपण. आनी उजव्याक दिसताले त्या नश्टेपणा आड लिपिल्ले ताचे इल्लेशें सुरभूस बरेपण आनी द्रश्टेपण. ताच्या उजव्या दोळ्याक दिसताले त्या नश्टेपणा आड लिपिल्ले ताचे इल्लेशें सुरभूस बरेपण आनी द्रश्टेपण. ते पळयल्या बराबर देवाच्या दोनूय दोळ्यांत ते पळयल्या बरोबर देवाच्या दोनूय दोळ्यांत दोन दुकां उबी रावली. दाव्या दोळ्यान उबे राविल्ले दुकान देवाच्या मनाक जाल्ल्या दुःखांच्या गुणगुणीत कड आशिल्ले. दाव्या दोळ्यान उबे राविल्ले दुकान देवाच्या मनाक जाल्ल्या दुःखांचे गुणगुणीत कड आशिल्ले. तर उजव्यातल्यान ताच्या अंतरातल्या समाधानाची शीतळकाय भरिल्ली. उजव्यातल्यान ताच्या अंतरातल्या समाधानाची शीतळकाय भरिल्ली. हजारांनी वर्सां जावन गेली ह्या गजालीक. हे गजालीक हजारांनी वर्सां जावन गेली. पूण तेन्नापासून आपले रडकुळे नदरेन एक दूख गळयले देवान ताचो सुर्या जालो. एक दूख गळयले ताचो सुर्या जालो आनी एक दूख गळयले ताचो चंद्रीम जालो. एक दूख गळयले ताचो सुर्या जालो दसान आनी एक दूख गळयले ताचो चंद्रीम जालो. देव ताच्या दोळ्यांनी संवसाराक आशेन आज मेरेन तेळत रावलो. देव ताच्या दोळ्यांनी संवसाराक आशेन तेळत रावलो. दुसरी कविता आसा म्हजो बांगर बैल. ताचो कवी आसा पुंडलीक नारायण नायक. एका बांगर बैलान आतांच दावे तोडला. एका बांगर बैलान आतांच दावे तोडला गवण मोडून भरल्या गोठ्यांतल्यान. बैल उबी दोन हुंपून गेलो. बैल उबी दोन हुंपून गेलो. रुखा झोपा मातीत गेलो. शिंगार रगत माखयले कपलाक तिबे सोबयले. शिंगार रगत माखयले कपलाक तिबे सोबयले. बैल शिरेर मदेल्लो. बैलान धेंकर गाजयलो. बैलान पागच बदललो. बैलान धेंकर गाजयलो. बैलान पागच बदललो. बैलान जू शेडायले. नांगर गुटे मोडयले. बैलान किरय घट खंय जिरयले. बैलान किरय घट खंय जिरयले. कासरे कामयेक बदना बैल चेंचूक जमना. बैल विकूंक फावना. बैलाक म्हज्या किरोदी जाय तसो मिरवदी. बैलाक म्हज्या किरोदी जाय तसो मिरवदी. बैल फुडल्या पाडव्याक येवचो ना. पुजे खातीर तिश्टचो ना. जाय तेन्ना येतलो. शिंगा दाखोवन पुजून घेतलो. बैल म्हज्या 52 कुळांचो उद्धारी. बैल म्हज्या 52 कुळांचो उद्धारी. बैल म्हज्या कुळाचो वारस. बैल म्हज्या 52 कुळांचो उद्धारी. बैल म्हज्या कुळाचो वारस.
She's going to read poem on by Manuel Rai Sardesai. It says Mojen Geet, my song, and Nocturne Nandia by Antonio Tabuki.
Mojen Geet, my song, translated to Ma chanson by Manuel Rai Sardesai. This is a translation into French which I had done for the book Ma chanson for mes cantos and my song. And I'd like to read my French translation. I think this is a text which is very well known to all those who know Konkani, and maybe in English because it was originally translated into English by the poet himself. And I will read the French translation. Ma chanson. Je chante des palmiers et des vagues de la Zoanie et des chansons qui résonnent au bord de la Mandorie. Je chante de l'océan et du vent qui s'abrite dans le sein de la voile. Je chante des pêcheurs qui tirent leur filet sur la plage sableuse et chaude. Je chante la chanson de la pioche et la pique et des mineurs qui creusent sous les fouets du soleil. Je chante des fleurs en vol et des lèvres de couleur corail. Je chante des mers rêveuses qui bercent sur les genoux la Goa de demain. Merci. My second text is not really poem, but an extract. To change things a little bit, this extract is not written by a Goan writer, but it is based on Goa. Just to give you a little background, the book Nocturne Indienne was written by Antonio Tabucchi, who wrote a book. Of course, his book was in Italian. It was not very well known until it was translated into French. And then a film was made by Alain Carnot in 1989. And this film was highly praised by French critics. Just to give you a background, Rossignol, a young Frenchman, arrives in Mumbai, to search for a missing friend, Xavier. From the prostitute who wrote to him, Rossignol learns that his friend fell ill about a year ago, shortly before his disappearance. Rossignol's quest takes him to Madras, Chennai now, and then Goa. And at various stages of his search, he has some insightful exchanges with the locals. Now this is a very nice piece, especially for those who know French. This piece is his impressions of Panaji. His impressions of Panaji, of the pier and the port, which the little boats in the river, and of Hotel Mandovi, which he visits. His impressions of a hotel and his just to inform you that he is in a depressed state of mind. He's looking for a friend who's lost, and his impressions are rather negative of many of the descriptions he makes in the book of the various places, Vasco da Gama, Hotel Zuari, Hotel Mandovi, of Panaji, the fort, and I will just read this piece to you. Comme les choses sont drôles, l'hôtel Mandovi porte ce nom parce qu'il est situé juste au bord du fleuve. Le Mandovi est un fleuve large, placide, se terminant par un long estuaire bordé de plages presque marines. À gauche, il y a le port de Panaji, un port fluvial pour les petits bateaux, avec des barges chargées de marchandises, des pontons tous disjoints et une plateforme rouillée. Et au moment où j'arrivais, la lune était en train de se lever. On aurait dit qu'elle sortait du fleuve, du bord même de la plateforme. Elle était entourée d'un halo jaune, pleine et rouge comme du sang. Je pensais, lune rouge, et instinctivement il me vint l'envie de siffler une vieille chanson. L'idée jaillit comme une étincelle. Je pensais à un nom, roux, et tout de suite après à cette phrase de Xavier. Je suis devenu un oiseau de nuit, et alors tout me parut si évident quand c'était idiot. Et je pensais alors, pourquoi n'y ai-je pas pensé plus tôt? J'entrais dans l'hôtel et je jetais un coup d'œil à la route. Le Mandovi est un hôtel de la fin des années 50 qui a l'air déjà ancien. Il a peut-être été construit à l'époque où les Portugais étaient encore à Goa. Je ne saurais pas bien expliquer pourquoi, mais il me sembla qu'il conservait la marque du fasciste de l'époque. Peut-être à cause du hall, vaste comme la salle d'attente d'une gare, ou encore à cause de ce mobilier, le bureau de poste, le ministère, impersonnel et déprimant. Derrière le bureau de la réception se tenaient deux employés. L'un avait une casaque à rayures, l'autre une veste noire brisée et un air important. Je me dirigeais vers ce dernier et je lui montrai mon passeport. Je voudrais une chambre. Merci.
To recite O Poeta in Portuguese by Multilingual.
Very good evening to everyone. I'm very nervous. I'm a student of NA2 Portuguese. I'm going to read you a poem, O Poeta by Multilingual, taken from the anthology of Indo-Portuguese literature by Vibala Devi and Manuel Seabra. O Poeta. Trago em mim sepultado o tumultuoso passado da humanidade e o futuro na visão. Em mim ecoa o presente, com as suas palpitações vivas. Eu enterro na terra as ideias e surgem delas as maravilhas que procuro aperfeiçoar a criação imperfeita. Se Deus criou o universo, eu crio nele a beleza que nunca morre, e a fé que o cimenta e o torna vivo. Se Deus criou o universo, deu-me a mim o condão de o modelar segundo os meus sonhos, vastos desertos. Eu os transformo em asas, e até o inferno torno paraíso. Quando o sopro da minha imaginação o bafeja, o esqueleto de uma árvore seca e desfolhada reveste-se de graça infinita. Eu inundo de raios sedutores o velho esfarratado e nojento que o mundo aborrece e transforma a sua chouça em um palácio sorridente. Às vezes, a morte eu o torno sedutora. Então o Marte a abraça com amor. E pela opulência do milenário eu crio a nojo. E da humanidade calcada eu levanto santos, só e inerte. Eu pelejo com o tirano, sou o esteio dos fracos e a riqueza dos pobres. Sou um poeta.
We have Raul Kay. She's going to read 2 poems from Orlando da Costa.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम राहुल खारी है और मैं पुर्तगाली भाषा में स्नातकोत्तर हूँ और इस समय मैं दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में पुर्तगाली भाषा का अध्यापक हूँ। मुझे खुशी है कि मैं आज ओरलांडो दा कोस्टा की 2 कविताएं उनको आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने की कोशिश करूँगा। Good evening, my name is Rahul Khari and I'm MA in Portuguese Literature from Goa University. And right now I'm in the camp of Portuguese teaching. I'm teaching Portuguese in the university. It's an honor again to recite some poems in the cultural fest like Goa Arts and Literary Festivals. And I'm going to read 2 poems of Orlando da Costa. Now I'm going to speak in Portuguese. Vou ler 2 poemas de Orlando da Costa do livro Canto Civil. O primeiro poema é Onde Fica Abril. Este poema é dedicado aos filhos dele. Onde fica Abril? Tempo e lugar de lembrança, tempo e canto de esperança, sítio, momento de esquecimento, entre raiz e gesto de levantamento. Raiz é um falso calar da noite, é calor arborado ao levante do vento, gesto de sustento de quem se foi. Na noite, em vigília de armas, e civilmente fazer a greve da fome, ao largo da abstância, lançar redes fundo com temperança. Temperada primavera dos anos 70, febril violenta de pasmo e alegria. Abril fica hoje, nosso tempo, dia a dia. Aqui fica além, nosso espaço e moradia. O segundo poema é da descolonização, é uma homenagem até por razões pessoais aos movimentos de libertação africanos. O mesmo livro, Canto Civil. Da descolonização. Não foi de rogo, foi de fogo, o dito dedo negro da descolonização. Foi de rastilho maus no gatilho, a lenta luta armada da descolonização. Se a guerra houve antes e sempre a terra, servos e recrutas servindo a descolonização. Se cativos eram, moram depois e antes livres, e vivos vivendo a descolonização. Abril com data com e sem fronteiras, pensando nas bandeiras, cores, armas, ferramentas da descolonização.
Next is a poem read by Dr. Edith Furtado, expert of Lettres à Lamartine.
Friends, what I'm going to read is not a poem. Neither of my texts are poems, but they are what you would call poetic prose. And they are extracts written by Goan writers in French, which is a rare species because you have Goan writers writing, many of them in Portuguese and English, and of course the local languages. But Goan writers writing in French is really rare, and we have compiled in a book a few works of these writers. So I have chosen two texts, of which the first one is by Francisco Luís Gomes. And Francisco Luís Gomes is one of our very, I would say, older writers. You have the years there. Now he's an illustrious son of Goa because of his multifaceted personality. He was a doctor, he was an economist, he was a historian, a parliamentarian, all in one. And what is very important about Francisco Luís Gomes was his flair for languages, because he used to speak French, English. He has written quite a bit in French, English, Italian, Latin, and Marathi. Now, Francisco Luís Gomes was appreciated not only by his colleagues but also by his political opponents, and he was held in high esteem by intellectuals like John Stuart Mill. So he was that famous. John Stuart Mill, Michel Chevalier, and above all, what brings us today's extract is the poet, the 19th century poet Lamartine, the French poet, who expressed his enormous appreciation for the talent of Francisco Luís Gomes. He also wrote a novel, Brahms, which is supposed to be one of the first novels that carried the exoticism of the East to the West. I'm presenting to you, therefore, an extract of a letter which Lamartine wrote which Francisco Luís Gomes wrote to Lamartine, and which evoked a lot of appreciation from the poet, because when he read it, he said, "Oh, this is really beautiful." And he wanted to know, he said, "How old is this writer?" You know, because he knew that there was youthful enthusiasm in it. And he said, "How old is this writer? I have to meet him." But in this extract, you will see that Francisco Luís Gomes expresses his patriotism and his pride of India. Lisbonne, le 5 janvier 1861. Monsieur, je suis né dans l'Inde orientale, dans ce pays qui fut le berceau de poésie, philosophie et des histoires, et qui en est présent le tombeau. J'appartiens à cette race qui composa le Mahabharata et inventa les échecs. Deux œuvres qui portent en elles quelque chose d'éternel et d'infini. Mais cette nation, qui faisait de ses poèmes ses codes et formulait la politique en un jeu, ne vit plus. Elle survit, emprisonnée, dans sa patrie épuisée par sa fécondité et obscurcie au milieu de l'éclat de sa gloire. En se débattant contre les barreaux de sa cage, cet oiseau a perdu ses plumes, qui le faisaient remonter au-dessus d'Himalaya, en pleurant la liberté qu'on lui a dérobée et la lumière qu'il a fui. Ce rossignol a oublié son chant, dont les notes retentissaient dans le ciel. Je demande pour l'Inde la liberté et la lumière. Pour moi, plus heureux que mes compatriotes, je suis libre. Ces titres, monsieur, étaient assez pour me recommander à vous qui admirez ma patrie et aimez l'humanité. The second extract is from a much more modern writer whose name is Lino Abreu, as you see from the dates, 1914 to 1975. Lino Abreu was born in the island of Divar, and he studied in Bombay because at that time the studies here were in Portuguese. but his literary heritage consists of Portuguese, French and English literatures. His sensibility being formed by the works of Camoes, Almeida Garrett, Alexandre Poulain, Camille Castelbranco, Molière, Hugo and Shakespeare. So it's a wide range of literatures. He is known for his poetry and his poetic prose, such as the letter that I'm going to read to you now. Now this letter is addressed to Madame de Pomeray, who is supposedly a teacher, was a teacher of French at that time, and she was very keen on knowing Goa, because at that time Goa was a Portuguese territory, and she had heard a lot about it, so she wants to know. And so Lina Abreu speaks to her about the culture of Goa in the form of letters. Chère Madame, la plume à la main, n'ayant rien à vous dire de positif, je me demandais quel sujet aborder aujourd'hui dans cette lettre. Je voulais, cela s'entend, un sujet qui appartient à Goa. Et malheureusement, plus je me forçais d'en choisir un, plus il me fuait. Dans cet état d'esprit, que faire? En telle occurrence, je crois sage de poser sa plume sur la table, d'allumer une cigarette et se renversant sur sa chaise, de se mettre à siffler, à foxtrot par exemple. Et de fait, c'est ce que j'ai entrepris. Mais au lieu d'un foxtrot, ce fut un mando qui me vint aux lèvres. Est-ce que j'aime le mando? Oh, cela va sans dire. Les Américains ont leur rumba, les Portugais leur fado, les Anglais je ne sais quoi, et les Goanais leur mando. Un Goanais, où qu'il se trouve, lorsqu'il se sent oppressé, nostalgique, que fait-il? Il se met à chanter un mando. D'abord, des images désagréables des scènes du pays se pressent dans mon esprit. Les soirées amusantes, les promenades romantiques, les couchers de soleil pourpre, les nuits silencieuses où vibre un violon lointain. Et sur le chemin solitaire, au clair de la lune, revenait du travail joyeux, le curumbi, chantant lui-même le mando, le curumbi. Déjà, votre curiosité s'éveille. Merci.
Now I call upon Durus Salahin, a student of MA1 from Goa University. He's going to read a poem by Marian Gracias, Goa.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलामु अलैकुम। सबसे पहले मैं आप सभी हाज़रीन का शुक्रगुज़ार हूँ कि आपने मुझे मौका फराहम कराया कि आपके सामने कुछ अदबी मज़ामीन पेश कर सकूँ। अस्थायी रूप से मैं बिहार के पटना शहर का निवासी हूँ। वर्तमान में मैं पुर्तगाली भाषा विभाग गोवा विश्वविद्यालय से में स्नातकोत्तर वर्ग के द्वितीय वार्षिकीय सत्र का छात्र हूँ। मैं आपके सामने मरियान ग्रासियस के का कुछ पद्यांश प्रस्तुत करूँगा। I am Durus Salahin. I am from Patna, Bihar. Passam Peraish, minha onda harmoniosa, espalhando perfumes, a beleza, frescura encanto entre toda a redondeza, a grande parte destacada da religião. Toda perfume eu me encanto a Goa, Florida de Mil, votos a Goa. E uma linda noiva enganada, terra de rayas, moiras encantadas, diamantes, rubis, perolas, esmeraldas. Deixa de toda a parte minha amada. Obrigado.
I call upon Irkulan Duran to read a poem by Rabindranath Tagore in English. Nous avons support Kaunzai.
Those of us who may not poems I'm going to read. He was an Indo-Portuguese writer and poet who lived between 1872 and 1935. He was born in Margao in a family of eminent literateurs, his father being Jacinth and two brothers, Joachim and Francis, who have also immensely contributed to the Indo-Portuguese literature. Rock was the director of government printing press for many years and the editor of journal Ortiga and thereafter of Notícias, which is the first journal in Goa which published photographs and drawings. Some of his best known publications are Veja Goa, Portugal na India, Coisas Sabidas. His book, Enfiado de Anix em Goeses, written in verse, is a book interpreting Goan wisdom and proverbs and sayings. Is a grand example of valiant effort not only to draw a comparative portrait of Goan and Portuguese literature, but also to create a confluence of Portuguese and Goan literature by highlighting similarities and psychology and wisdom of both the peoples and the art and literature they created and used. The first poem I'm reading is from this collection, Muizão Sakor Kamzai. This is a typical example of Indo-Portuguese literature of which is trying to build a confluence, because the subject, the topic is in Konkani while the poem is in Portuguese. The poem in short thematic is to explain that to achieve success in life one has to be humble like an ant. In all his three poems, Rock makes good use of figure of speech. And in this poem, there are two salient features which mark him out as an Indo-Portuguese writer. One is his usage of the Konkani proverb as the heading of the poem, and the second, the usage of the word pequeno. In Konkani, we say lan zaun sakar kaunzai. Lan also signifies, besides being small, it means humble. But in Portuguese, such a connotation exactly is not there for the word pequeno, but he uses to signify that pequeno also means humble. I shall now read the poem. Muizão Sakor Kamzai. Qual formiga tem de ser? Qual formiga tem de ser quem quer açúcar comer? Quem quer açúcar comer? Tem que ser muito pequeno. Tem que ser muito pequeno e humilde, como a formiga, se quer viver bem e sereno. Como a formiga, se quer viver bem e sereno. The second poem I'm going to read, Aos Humans. There is no exact word that signifies in English to translate this, but it would mean close to jealous, which is humans. And this poem, he writes about, he talks about jealous married men and perhaps of those in love too. These are my interpretations. Who thinks that once they are married or in love, they in a way own the woman they love or marry. The poet in his first verse, he paints the beautiful woman as a seducer of all men, and whether married or not, her beauty has no lord. Her beauty is like the light that belongs to the nature, to the whole nature. The poet basically, I think, is trying to personify the beauty in a beautiful woman. Human beings, all of us, are but a finite dot in the universe, but yet he wants to give an infinite character to the beauty of the beautiful woman by comparing her to light, which is infinite, ever-spreading and uncontrollable. So he says, just like the light, nobody can own it. So the beauty of a beautiful woman, nobody can own it. It is for everyone to see and enjoy. So now enjoy the poem. Aos ciúmentos. Sempre a mulher linda seduz. Sempre a mulher linda seduz. Casada ou não. A sua beleza não tem senhor. a sua beleza não tem senhor, e como a luz pertence a toda a natureza. E como a luz pertence a toda a natureza. The third poem I'm going to read is about Aos Inflexíveis. Now in this poem, he refers about the well-behaved gentleman, the learned, with well-balanced judgments, who never change their attitudes to the point of being hypocrites. The poet talks about a charming and pleasant lady, almost raising her to the level of a nymph or a goddess, or for that matter, femme fatale, and says that before such a woman, a man loses all his balance and disrobes himself of his civility and displays the crude animal instinct in him. The poet wants to highlight the power of a charming woman over human instinct and the way she can paralyze his faculties even though he may be a gentle person. Aos inflexíveis. Ao pé de uma mulher gentil, ao pé de uma mulher gentil, todo o juízo se obscurece, todo o juízo se obscurece. O mais cortês faz-se incivil, o mais cortês faz-se incivil, e até o sábio se embrutece, e até o sábio se embrutece. Obrigado.
And now I call upon Natasha Gomes, who's going to say a poem by Manuel Sardesai, and it's called Toi et moi.
Bonsoir, je m'appelle Natasha Gomes et je fais mon master à l'université de Goa. Et maintenant, je vais lire un poème de Manuel Sardesai. Toi et moi. La nuit se fait femme et rêve. À mon cœur, le soleil aux fleurs de plaisir, au frisson du printemps, au sentier caché, j'en sais des rêves sans fin. Quelle fête de couleurs, des fleurs, des sourires, le vent souffle des baisers, sous un ciel sans nuages. Le désir se fait femme. Tu me tends la bouche, quelle fête de mystère, dans des yeux qui racontent des contes de fées, sans prince ni princesse. Toi et moi, comme deux ombres, deux flammes d'azur, deux cris de joie. Merci.
Now I call upon Elena Tunanch, who's going to read a poem by Lakshman Rao Sardesai, So Teu Filho, in Portuguese.
Good evening. I'm Elena Tunanch. I'm going to read a poem by Lakshman Rao Sardesai. He was a poet who was very much concerned with social problems in society, and this is evident from the fact that he identified himself with the underprivileged, like the Gaudi, which is the native tribe of Goa, and which is seen in this poem which I'm going to read here now. So Teu Filho. Disse-me ontem uma velha Gaudi: Filho, tu não és brahmo? Sim, mãe, respondi. Nasci brahmo, mas sou gauro, com teu vaso escuro e forte. Durmo no chão raso, por ti artisticamente embostado, como do ambil que me dás, em companhia dos teus netos. Extasiada, fico a contemplar as araqueiras que as tuas filhas regam. Acaricio com admiração os caules das bananeiras e às vezes enfio um langotim e estendo-me na relva aos raios do sol nascente. E quando durmo, o meu espírito estende a sua asa sobre os teus miúdos que trabalham de dia e dormem de noite. E tu, às vezes, de madrugada, enquanto lá fora os galos cantam e o orvalho desce dos céus, e o vento sopra frígido, vens para fora de mansinho e estendes sobre o meu corpo estirado o teu belo tambor. Sim, mãe, sou gauló e sou teu filho.
And now I call upon Ashley Rubey, who's going to recite a poem by Manuel Rai Sardesai.
Hello, I'm Angela Lero and I'm from Panjim. I'm studying Portuguese in St. David's College and in the Portuguese Friendship Society, Goa. I'm going to read 2 poems by Manohar Rai Sardesai. First one. O meu canto. Eu canto as palmeiras e as ondas do zoado e as canções que ressoam sonoras na margem do Mandovi. Eu canto o oceano e o vento que vai soprando no seio de velas. Eu canto os pescadores que puxam as redes ao longo das praias da areia quente. Eu canto a canção, a picareta e da enxada e dos mineiros que escavam sob os raios do sol ardente. Eu canto as flores, o voo e os lábios que parecem corais. Eu canto as mães que, como no sonho, nos seus regaços vão embalando da Goa de amanhã. Que linda é nossa Goa! Que linda é nossa Goa! Que bela é nossa Goa! Terra de frutos sucussos, de campos férteis, viçosos, de pergaminhos lustrosos, Goa. Polvilhada de palmares e muitos rios e mares, cheia de fontes lactares, Goa. De grinaldas coroada e rubro solo dotada. É de ferro e tua arfada, Goa. És velha de tradição, mais jovem de animação e de eterna inspiração, Goa. A vida da liberdade é chalas ruminada e é sono aureio da beleza, Goa.
No estado de Goa, estou fazendo em português. Vou ler um poema da Vimala Devi, o título é Recordação de Goa. Dentro de mim, o perfume mais suave é a tua recordação. Ao contemplar sorria, a tua imagem descubro numa breve meditação. Hoje as suas canções perdem-se na noite como sonhos. Obrigada.
Call upon Dr. S.M. Tarkurkar, who is going to say a few poems in Marathi.
Let me introduce myself. A poet is standing in front of you. My name is S.M. Tarkurkar. I am working for the Department of Marathi and Department. I am a research scholar. I am working on 17th century Marathi literature. Right now I am working on Christopher Puran, written by Father Thomas Dickens in 1616, a manuscript which I have found from 18th century. Simultaneously I am working on a vocabulary which is in the name of Padit Leo, and I am be able to complete this at the end of this 2 years or so. I have been writing in Marathi and English in Konkani. So far, 5 books or 5 anthologies have been published. I have received prizes, awards for my poetry. Generally, whenever we talk about Marathi poetry in Goa, 3 names are already being taken. One is Mr. Narendra Godke, another is Suresh Rodkekar, and third one is mine. We have been experimenting in the poetic area with the words, similarly the figure of speech. Right now, let me thank first of all Dr. A. for giving me the opportunity to come over here. Otherwise, you people would not not have known that there is a poet in front of you, among you. And secondly, the credit also goes to Ms. Francaise, who gave me an opportunity and told me to present my poems in Marathi. The title of the first poem is Fish Tank. The English version is there in front of you. So even if you don't listen to me, it will make no difference. Allow me to recite my poem in Marathi, please. हा उजेड अन हे लखलखते पाणी. हा उजेड अन हे लखलखते पाणी या वेली अन ही सोनेरी मासोळी. हा उजेड अन हे लखलखते पाणी या वेली अन ही सोनेरी मासोळी. सगळ्या उसन्या प्राणवायूवर जगणारे कृतक जगात. सगळेच उसन्या प्राणवायूवर जगणारे कृतक जगात. हा दीप अन हे लखलखते जग. हा दीप अन हे लखलखते जग. या मुली अन ही सोनेरी आमिषे. या मुली अन ही सोनेरी आमिषे. कुठतरी दूर स्विच माझ्या श्वासाचा खऱ्या खुऱ्या जगात. कुठेतरी स्विच माझ्या श्वासाचा खऱ्या खुऱ्या जगात. शोधतोय तो फिश टँक बनविणारा. शोधतोय तो फिश टँक बनविणारा. माझ्या भोवती कधीपासून माझ्या भोवती हे नयन रम्य काचेचे घर. हे नयन रम्य काचेचे घर. Second one is a bit a lyrical one. The English translation is there in front of you. Allow me to recite it in Marathi. गंध झालं पिकुळ पसरला देह. गंध झालं पिकुळ चांदण. झालं पिकुळ चांदण. तिच मन घेणार. पसरला देह. गंध झालं पिकुळ चांदण. झालं पिकुळ चांदण. तिच मन घेणार. हात नका लावू आता. हात नका लावू आता. तिला ऐकू येतो पावा. हात नका लावू आता. तिला ऐकू येतो पावा. तिला ऐकू येतो पावा. तिला ऐकू येतो पावा. त्यानं धाडीला सांगावा. नाक नका लावू तिला आता. ऐकू येतो पावा. तिला ऐकू येतो पावा. त्यानं धाडीला सांगावा. भीर भीर झालं रान. भीर भीर झालं रान. नको आता काही गाऊ. भीर भीर झालं रान. आता नको काही गाऊ. नको आता काही गाऊ. नको आता काही गाऊ. तिला भेटेल ग राऊ. भीर भीर झालं रान. नको आता काही गाऊ. नको आता काही गाऊ. तिला भेटेल ग राऊ. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Dr. Kamoes. Very good.
Thank you very much. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading session, and it was really inspiring and lyric, musical. I would like to remind you that we have a screening in 15 minutes. It's on the other room, and I hope you enjoy the festival today and tomorrow.